Good morning, everybody. What is up? Your friendly neighborhood physical therapist, Dr. Ryan Welton, coming to you from the Welton residence this morning. Everybody's still sleeping, so I am getting doing my live. Okay, so if you're new to following me, I'm a physical therapist from the Tampa Bay area. I get a clinic where most people, I call it the I've failed everything clinic. Most people fail everything type stories when they come in. They just say like, I don't know, man, I failed everything, and I get exceptional results within that patient population. I have written papers that are on my website, weltonmethods.com, that have statistically made medical history in readership. Getting multiple times, 3 to 5 years post publication, multiple times the reads as even the biggest journals in the world, Lancet, according to AI, Lancet, New England Journal of Medicine, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm doing, if you join that free VIP school group below, what I'm doing is I'm pouring all of my knowledge into people. So I am going to do a clinical mentorship. Okay. But join it, it's free. And you'll see more about my clinical mentorship where I mentor you clinically, weekly, live Q&A. And you'll have 59% off access to all of my courses. And then I have my cash-based clinic accelerator. So I have a totally different type of cash-based clinic than most people. I do not treat most conditions. What I actually do is I take on the like mainly chronic low back pain. I see most people have 2 to 3 issues, but I take on chronic low back pain patients, which I find to be SI joint, sacral torsion, sacral shear. And that's what I target in my ads, and I bring them in and relieve their pain, or other conditions too, relieve their pain immediately. And when I get them out of pain, then they trust me. I don't do fancy sales tactics. I don't do anything like that. I just, I mean, X amount of people say yes, X amount of people say no, and there it is. So go ahead and click the link below and join my free VIP, um, my free VIP inner circle. Uh, Dr. Garish, good morning, dear sir. Hey, what's happening, man? Okay, listen. All right. I hesitate to say this. And the reason why I hesitate to say this is because I believe that you can put things into people's subconscious mind and then they create them. Okay. So I hesitate to say this. Having said that, there is a season that I call back spasm season, and we're approaching it. Okay. Now, this is why I say that. So I got this chronic low back pain clinic, right? And I see, like, I do these SI rehabs. If you read my papers that I wrote, go to click the link below school. They're posted in there. Go to the school group, SKOOL. Go to the school group, and then click that link. It's free, and I have my papers in there, and you can read them and use them. So, anyways, one of the papers, 2 of the papers that made medical history in readership statistically, that are pinned to my social media channels, is SI joint sacral torsion, sacral shear, anterior sacral tilt root causes was the name of the papers. Okay, now, so I treat this all day long. So I treat back pain, low back pain, all day long. That has failed multiple things, right? So during the rehab, I warn all my patients about it. I'm like, look, it's normal for people to it's normal for people to have back spasms during this, and if it happens, we let it calm down. Now, if you don't warn them, then they don't understand what happened. They think you hurt them, and that's your fault. Okay. Now one of the main drivers the main drivers I see are of back spasms are let's see, when someone tells this is when I swear in my head silently, and when someone tells me this, I'm going to Disney World. Why? Because they walk all day long during SI rehab. Sends them into a back spasm, much higher percentage than my average patient. And what else did I say? I'm going to Disney World. I am going on a long car ride. I am uh, going on a plane flight. There's a lot of erratic motions with that while I'm trying to stabilize their base of support. And then what else did they say? They say I'm going to the major drive of cleaning their house, vacuum sweeping, mopping, going side to side, can lock down their back. So that can be very, and stress. Stress is a major one. Right now, one of my patients is in a back spasm where we just had to stop therapy and then resume. But one of my patients is in a back spasm, and I said, "What happened when this happened?" He said, "I started a new job." That's what happened to me years ago. I was changing my kid, but I wasn't actually doing anything. And all of a sudden, my back went, and I couldn't go to work for 3 days. My back was locked up, and I laid there in bed, and I'm like, how did this happen, man? Like I wasn't like actually doing anything, like how on earth does this happen? And it took me 3 weeks for that thing to release. And what I realized is that I was extraordinarily stressed at the time. And what I realized at that point is that there's got to be this threshold, like just like your neck, when your neck gets like tense like that, just like your neck. Um, but when it comes to, I believe that there's a like threshold of stress before your back will wrench. Recently, I had to put my beloved dog down. She's a therapy dog, came to work with me for 10 years. Anyways, and the night before, I'm laying in bed because I didn't want to do this, and I'm laying in bed, and all of a sudden I start to feel an achiness. Well, given what I do for a living, I'm like, oh no, my back's starting to lock down, out flares, right? And cause this achiness SI joint. And I'm like, I hope I don't have a back spasm on top of having to put my dog down. So, but I knew that that was a possibility that could happen. Okay. And if you know it's a possibility, you have to tell your patients. Okay. Now, because if you don't tell your patients, guess what happens? They have a back spasm. Trust me, I've been doing this 20 years. They have back spasm. They don't know what happened. Oh, this guy's hurting me. We need to stop type thing. Okay. And then they go back into the medical system where they get, like, most of my patients have spent 20 to $120,000 before they get to me. So, and they still don't know what's wrong with them. So anyways, it's really something. But I call November, December back spasm season. And the reason why is because on a given caseload, we'll say in a couple months or so, I'll have like 10% of my patients that have some variation of a spasm. Hopefully not the 3 week ones, but the 3 days, the 1 day one, I mean the 1 week one or something like that. But so I'll have like 10%, right? But right now I got like 20%, okay? And then when it hits November, December, like the actual holiday season, when that hits, then guess what happens? My back spasm rate goes up to about 40%. People are cleaning their house, they're traveling, they're stressed, there's financial issues, and that all builds up, and people have um, these back spasms where you can't stand up, and it takes 1 to 3 weeks for it to calm down. But I find if you warn the patients about this, if you actually warn them about this, okay, and say, um and say to them like, hey, this is a possibility. I don't like putting thoughts in people's heads, you know I don't like doing that. But they used to quit on me all the time. I mean, I have like 3 patients right now that are in a back spasm, but I call it the off the ledge talk. It's how I get them to get off the ledge of almost quitting, because I had recorded on video beforehand that this was a possibility. And I find that if you tell people what the possibilities are, you know, in a rehab that could happen, and if you don't tell them and it happens, then it's your fault. I quit. But if you do tell them, then I find that they say it on video so they don't forget that when you do tell them, then they're just like, okay, like, all right, you warned me about this. This stinks, but you warned me about it, right? Well, yeah, I had to. I mean, it took me years to figure that. I'd be like, remember when I told you, with no, and I'm like, no, I swear I told you, but they forget. So you have to, um, you have to warn them about this. If you don't warn them about this, then it's your fault. It's your fault, man. So November, December to me are back spasm season. Okay. I am approaching it. I am preparing for it. Why am I preparing for it? Is because my patients come in and they're all upset because they were doing great, and I, ask them, do they have bowel and bladder issues? No. Do they, I check myatomes, no problem. Okay, great. It's not cauda equina. There was no trauma involved. You just bent over and picked up your cat. Okay, it's a back spasm. Here's what happens. You got to let it calm down for 1 to 3 weeks, and then after that, you you gradually start getting back into your exercises. Okay, and do you remember we talked about this in the beginning? So that is how I manage back spasms and back spasm season. So it is back spasm season. We're approaching it. It's not a it's not a fun conversation, but I know I call it my off the ledge talk. So when they come in, I start the off the ledge talk when they're all upset that their back went into spasm, and especially the hardest ones are when it happens in the beginning, like on their first visit or second visit, and then it's like, wait, I started therapy with this guy, and then now my back's killing me. And those are the hardest ones. I remember I had this one patient, she was a nurse, and I we had just started and she went into a back spasm. So I was like, honestly, I said, I'm not worried about this, but what I'm concerned about is you quitting. Is because I'm like, if you quit, like with SI joint, a mechanical issue, I'm like, you should see what happens to my patients before they get here, And anyways, that lady did not quit, and I actually applauded her 3 weeks later. I was so impressed with you, like you just started therapy. Most people think it's this, but it was, um, you know, it's just, I think it was stress with her that caused hers, but there is a threshold, I believe. Yeah. Anyways, Dr. Garish, yes, your patient usually forgets and blames you. Yeah, that can happen. But if you put it on video, then they don't blame you. So that's why I do that. I teach my business students to put it on video and reference the video and say, do you remember that video? Well, the reason why I did that video is for this conversation we're having right now, because I knew that a percentage of people have back spasms during this rehab, and I can't help it, avoid it, So I had to do this video. Um, for this conversation we're having right now so that you don't quit. I just tell them straight up. One guy wrote a review about me, and he said that this guy is all brutally, all caps, honest. Yeah, I am. I'm brutally honest. I find when you're brutally honest with patients, then they get it, like, but if you try to like skirt around things, no. The reason why I did that video is because I'm afraid you're going to quit. So I did a video saying this could happen, that there was a normal part of the rehab, and then I find that patients don't quit, and they just let the back spasm calm down and continue on, and that is how I handle that. I'm telling you, it's the most effective way to deal with the back spasm, and especially approaching back spasm season. Okay, so anyways, if you have any other questions for me, let me know. But yeah, it's certainly interesting. It's certainly interesting. But if you want to learn more, like I said, I published statistically historic papers in not just the field of orthopedics, in the field of medicine, in readership, 3 to 5 years post publication. This has gone viral. It is literally all around the world, and you can join my school group if you're a clinician. Click below, SKOL school group. It says it's a VIP group. I am teaching not only free stuff in there, but I also have like my advanced membership, advanced clinical mentorship. So if you feel lost in the clinic, um, if you feel lost in the clinic, if you feel like burnt, like you got imposter syndrome type event, what I'm doing is I'm teaching people. I'm teaching them diagnostics. My goal is to get us up here, okay? Like me, exceptional results, in a chronic pain clinic, and I am teaching people the clinical mentorship part of it, but also I am teaching people the cash-based clinic accelerator, which is my totally different business model. I teach you everything from how to do the ads, the scripts to say, to the target, how to target certain patient populations that people are like, oh, well, people won't pay cash in my part of the country. And I'm like, nah, man, trust me, there are people that are desperate for someone that knows what they're doing. And they have searched heaven and earth. And if you can fix some of these chronic issues that I treat all day, like SI joint, sacral torsion, shear, you are a godsend to them no matter what you charge. So people, I teach people how to charge $400 for 30 minutes in the cash-based clinic model and get paid for the education that they actually they spent so much time on their education and more than most to try to figure this all out, this chronic pain world, right? And you get paid the same in the insurance world as everybody else. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like the insurance gives everybody $40 if you're amazing at what you do, or if you're struggle bus type thing. Makes no sense. So anyways, in my model, you get paid for actually providing exceptional clinical results, and I teach you the clinical part. I give you all my maps of the body, how I describe them as reflex pain points, shuts pain off instantly in that paper, and then my all of my protocols, not just the ones that I've published. So anyways, if you want to join that group, okay, it is the most rewarding thing I have ever done, is work with these chronic pain patients. People are like, you want to work with athletes, all this stuff? I'm like, I do, but honestly, this is where my heart is the chronic pain world. These people are so grateful for you after that you changed their lives. In a lot of cases, saved them. All right. So peace. Love you all. I'm out.